I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Chairman, could I just ask that, for the last meeting, we were up at Public Safety Center, and, you know, I think I know everybody. Could we go around the room again and just introduce so we kind of know who's who a little bit? There's some faces I don't know, or I don't know, whatever you think.
Sure, we can.
Phil Church, County Administrator.
Veronica Turner, Budget Director. Chris Novak, District 16 Legislator.
Dorothy Caldwell, District 17 Legislator.
Jessica Davern, Deputy Clerk of the Legislature.
Kathy Fontasso, Oswego County Emergency Management Director.
John Toomey, Under Sheriff. David Hall, Probation Director and Stop User Y Coordinator.
Tim Foley, 911 Director.
Anthony DiMartino Jr., Oswego County District Attorney / Coroner.
Linda Lockwood, I'm the Legislator, District 11.
Mel Chesbro, Legislator, District 10.
Frank Lombardo, Legislator, District 7.
Lee Walker Jr., Legislator, District 15.
Gina Bartlett, Legislator, District 24.
Herb Urban, District number 2. Paul Conley, District 20. And
Savannah Wyckoff, Public Information Officer for the county.
Tyler Pete, Deputy Director of Emergency Management.
Rich Mitchell, County Attorney.
David Powers, Assistant Coordinator, Oswego County, SAR.
good, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
I got approval of minutes for the Public Safety Committee on February 2nd.
So moved.
Second. Okay. All right, right into resolutions. PS1, we have a
You
resolution.
got to vote.
Nope, that's right, first.
Wait a first and a second.
Motion's passed. PS1, resolution authorizing budgetary modification for transfer of insurance recovery from the Treasury's Office of Probation and Automotive and Supplies. It's in the amount of $3,091.80. Basically, we're just moving money in insurance. Motion for discussion. Motion.
Well, second.
Second. Second. Okay, any discussion? All good? Okay, motion's passed.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
you're supposed to say all in favor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Anybody
Yep,
opposed?
you're right.
It's okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right. PS2, resolution authorizing budget modification for the probation department to accept ignition interlock non-installer enforcement initiative grant. So we're accepting a grant for $35,000 to put us in compliance with the 2025-6 interlock international enforcement to promote compliance with ignition interlock device requirements for cooperative enforcement activities, public education. Looking for appropriate motion? Motion. Second. Any discussion? Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passed. PS3, resolution on the modification sheriff's office transfer from insurance recovery to automotive supplies and repairs. Again, it's for an amount of just under $7,300. Moving money again out of the insurance fund. Looking for appropriate motion?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion?
Yes, sir. Where does the car going to be repaired, and where do we usually go for these ones?
It varies on the repair needed. If it's something we can fix in-house, we fix it in-house, put the money back in a repair line. If not, we normally send it out to a local body shop and have it fixed there. And then the check would come out of our repair line and go over to the body shop.
Is this one going to a body shop?
I don't know. It's a patrol vehicle. a marked patrol vehicle. And at 7,000, I'm guessing it's something we did in-house, but I have to, come back to the garage and ask.
7,000 could be a ding nowadays.
You'd have
Could
to
be, unfortunately.
Most it's not.
So we, obviously wherever we send these, they're in the county where we're sending these repairs.
But most of them wind up going to Bastrop right here in the
Okay.
city.
Good. Thank you.
May I ask a question? So is there any kind of competitive bid done for the work?
The insurance company would do the appraisal and give us the price. So
Okay.
as long as we get the price done, get the work done for that price or less, we would get it done based on the insurance
Okay.
company's appraisal.
Thank you.
And Bash Shops does great work too, by the way.
And
Yeah.
we were very happy with them. We were sending them some different places and they started, their turnaround time and work has been very good.
Thank you.
Any further discussion on that? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. PS4, it was a resolution to transfer certain equipment to the Bolton Amateur Radio Club. I'm looking for a motion to table that to next month.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
just a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, PS5. This is a resolution fixing time and place for public hearing relative to Burroughs County Local Law Number 2 of the year 2026. A local law establishing a registry of animal abuse offenders and prohibiting animal ownership by animal abuse offenders within the county of Oswego. We're just setting the public hearing for a law to basically stop, if someone abuses an animal, they're going to be put on a registry through New York State. Looking for an appropriate motion.
So moved.
Any discussion? Yes.
I have some questions about it.
Mhm.
I don't know, I know it's for, to put it out for public discussion, but there were a few things that I wanted to ask about within the document. The first one would be on the second page under the section 362, and one of the offenses is throwing substance injurious to animals in public places. And I'm wondering if you need to specify public places, what about throwing, if it's in private, I guess. I'm just curious of who.
I'm going to call on Rich Mitchell
That
for this.
references the section of Ag and Markets Law. It's a state enactment, and the definition would be under state law as to what that's
Oh, okay,
about.
so that's,
Those are qualifying offenses under Ag and Markets Law.
okay, so that's not something we looked into, okay. The next would be in section 4. Oh, no, yeah, no, section 3 at the top, turn the page on the back. It says, the first paragraph, this Oswego County Sheriff's Office shall post a link to the Animal Abusers Registry, blah, blah, blah. And then it goes on to say, to be updated from time to time, but no less frequently than once a year. And I'm wondering if more frequent updates should be stated, because it looks like from time to time, because if it takes a whole year to update, then somebody could be an abuser never on the registry. Like, say it's updated in July, it could be, and that person offends in August, it could be a full year before they get updated. I don't know how to reword that, but I just wondered, is that something?
From time to time allows more frequent updating. I don't know how many convictions there are under Ag and Markets annually in this county right now, but nothing prevents the sheriff from updating it more frequently.
Well, nothing prevents, but what would mandate?
We would hope they would be updated with the convictions, but people can appeal convictions as well.
Mhm.
There may be some delay on that. We certainly can put a more frequent quarterly, or
That's what I'm wondering, if it could be,
that certainly can be changed.
and who would do that? Is that something that the committee does?
We have discussed that, we're trying to get this law on. We can add amendments. Am I right on this?
Yeah,
That we can add we really need to get this up and running, and there's gonna be things that we're gonna have to change down the road as we come.
Okay,
And the stuff you're talking about has been talked about and we talked about,
Yeah,
and
there's
we got,
also a bill pending in the assembly right now that would create a statewide animal abuse registry.
Oh.
And there's no Senate companion yet, so even if that's successful, it's gonna be a while before that is. So if we get our own up and running first, we could then, and then sometime in the future, if the state passes a statewide one, we can either conform ours to that or just defer, and just let the state take it.
Mr. Chairman, one of the things that would probably be recommended to be included would be a reverse preemption provision, because if the state passes a law and then they intend to occupy the field, there's no need for a local registry. And a statewide registry may be more efficient than 62 individual registries if each county had one, for example. So the purpose of the public hearing is to get comments on local law. The local law need not be acted upon the same day as the hearing. Frequently they are. But if there are comments that should be incorporated as well as other changes, they can be done after the hearing or now if you wish to include those. So so if you want more frequency, you want quarterly, we can change that to put quarterly in for the packet for the March meeting on that paragraph.
that's something that has to be voted on, or?
Yes.
Just that input, I think our investigator and our people that are working with developing this are very interested in having it happen. So our interest is not to hold it back, to put it out there on the registry as soon as possible.
But this wouldn't really hold it back.
No, I'm saying, so I think we would put it out much more, it says that we could put it out as often, so we would probably put it out as soon as there's a conviction, not wait yearly. But it's not mandated in writing.
Right,
I'm
I
saying we,
just meant, I didn't know whether at this point, is that something that we would do to move to amend it to state quarterly, to be updated at least quarterly.
Make it a motion to amend it.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
Okay. So I move that is it the law be amended to?
If I may, could I suggest language that be
Yeah,
updated from time to time, but no less frequently than quarterly?
thank you, that's better. But no less frequently than quarterly.
okay, so we got amendment.
So there's a motion, she needs a second, and then discussion.
I'll
on
second that.
Alright, so appropriate a motion to amend that. First and second,
Well, I moved and he seconded, and Lee
okay.
seconded.
any discussion? Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And now to go forward with,
I have another,
oh, go ahead, sorry.
that's okay. Animal abuse is an important issue. Under the registration requirements, it, all through especially on A, it says all animal abusers must register with the animal abuser registry, and then later on B, it also speaks about going to the sheriff's office. I'm wondering if it can be automatically registered when someone is charged, and instead of, if the software is already there, that you can automatically and not put the ownership on the offender to self-report. Does that make sense? Because it says that abuser must register within 5 business days of the release from incarceration, or if not incarcerated from the date of the conviction, unless an appeal is pending. And later on, there's a fine if you don't do it. But I'm just wondering if it could just automatically be popping up somewhere, be registered somehow. I don't know the software about how all this works.
May I comment?
Please do.
I'm not a legislator, but I'm.
No, I appreciate any comments.
questions
We need
about
your
this.
input.
Need input.
So my guess is, and this is kind of mirroring the sex offender registration type of act that we have in the state of New York. It seems like it's only for convictions that occur in the county of Oswego. First of all, I need to be clear on that, because we also have currently we have issues of people coming from other counties into the county of Oswego that we may want to put on this registry, and I'm not certain that that covers those other individuals. So I'm going to defer to the county attorney on this. And the second part, I think it's kind of very, very comparable to the sex offender registry, but so the question on what you're saying is that it would become a requirement of the offender to make an affirmative action to register, because if they don't, then they can get charged under a different portion of this law, which would end up being a misdemeanor that can be prosecuted, a failure to register, so to speak, under this law, which would make it a misdemeanor, which would be prosecuted by, and this is my next question, the district attorney's office, because it makes specific references to the ag and markets law, which can only be prosecuted by the district attorney's office. I talked to Mr. Mitchell about that. If you look under,
Yeah, I did see the fine.
you look under let me get this right, section 6 penalties,
Yes, I saw the fine.
under subdivision D, it talks about the Oswego County District or the Office of the County Attorney on its behalf from bringing an ag and markets, section 374.8C, and I don't believe that jurisdiction is given unless I permit the county attorney by Van Sickle or the Van Sickle letter, so to speak, to prosecute that. So I just want to be clear, when we're prosecuting this law, who's prosecuting it? Not that first of all, let me say that I'm all for it. Okay, I'm all for this law. I think it's necessary and needed in the county of Oswego. I would like to have a provision in here that if anybody comes from, so to speak, county of, I'm not picking on counties here, any county, Onondaga, moves into Oswego, that we would know that we would have an avenue to have that person register, because now they have chosen to come into the county of Oswego, and they can become a part of our registry under this county law. I haven't had a chance to read this succinctly at this point. Those are a couple points that I wanted to bring out. Again, I'm just the district attorney here, so I'm just pointing these things out to you.
You're not just, you are the district attorney.
I just want to make sure that I understand it, so that when and if this comes to law, I understand who's prosecuting it. And again, all for it, and somewhat concerned by you're leaving it to a judge saying it's to their discretion to do this. I'm a little concerned about that, because it should become something that is required in my mind.
I have a quick question.
Those are my comments.
I have a question. You were saying that it mirrors the sexual assault,
No, sex offender
sex
registry.
offender registry. And
I
so.
don't know that for a fact, but we have a registry for sex offenders.
And they have to
State of New York.
self-report also. is
They
what
have to self-report, otherwise, if they don't, they would be required by order to report, because otherwise, that's how it could become another offense for failure to report. So you put the requirement on the offender that they must do it with. The sex offender registry, it's like 10 days. So, and then they have to report their address, et cetera, where they are. And then it's actually kept by the sheriff's department as well in the county of Oswego. So it would make sense that the sheriff would also be doing this. I did talk to John right before this came in, so I wanted to make sure that
Thank you.
that was something that they were willing to do.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is there any way that, the last thing I want to do is table this. I want to make sure we get this all in here today so we can move forward. Is there a way we can get DA's writing in there and make an amendment to that, or get that?
Or are we to the point that we need more discussion on it or more information? I
Right.
mean, we
Yeah.
could table it and get more feedback from the attorney,
Right.
from the DA.
Yeah.
And if you have any other input that we can discuss it and bring it back up.
All right, Rich,
Do
you
you
had
feel
something. Oh, hold on, Rich had his hand up.
Yeah, the sex offender reporting, sheriff's office, as the DA noted, does handle, and the onus is on the offender, not only to report, but also to report changes of address within the county. The county may not know that someone moves. Similarly, with this enactment, if someone's released from jail, they may have an address where they previously resided upon arrest. They served a year in the jail. They may not be able to return to that address for various reasons, or may not choose to return to that address for various reasons. So the thought process was to have the offender report and state their address, because it is specific to that. As far as other convictions and persons from other counties, it would be difficult, not impossible, but we could take a look at adding that. The thought process on convictions in this county and persons residing in this county, it would be easier to populate the registry and get it up and running. A state enactment obviously would be ideal because people move from county to county within the state and they'd still be on the registry. There are persons from out of state with animal abuse convictions or neglect convictions that may move to this county, and we don't know how those correlate with the enumerated ag and markets offenses that are in the statute. So this was done looking at other counties' enactments. At this point, this is a hot topic across many counties, and we're certainly willing to look at and consider anything the legislature would like to try and include. Putting someone on a registry upon arrest can be problematic because they're presumed innocent until proven guilty, and they have rights in that regard.
You had a question.
It's on another topic, I mean,
Oh,
another
okay.
issue here.
Rich, would it be as simple as adding language to section 4A at the end saying, or from the date of establishing residence in Oswego County?
We'll take a look at it and come up with some language because, again, you're talking about New York State convictions, people moving within the state. They may be on another registry. So we'll find out. Is it temporary? Is it permanent? Yeah.
So like in Sex Offender Registry Act, if somebody moved from another state into the county of Oswego, there would be a notice to us, so then they would have to register in the state of New York under the county of Oswego. But this is a local county law, so there's probably some limitations.
Sex offender registries.
I'll defer to the county attorney.
Yeah.
So there's probably some limitations.
Yeah, and there's also an opportunity for a classification hearing, I believe, if a SORA classification hearing if they're an out-of-state
Right.
offender. So those registries are certainly, they've been around a lot longer than this registry, and there's a process under state law for classification. So we'll take a look at the suggestions, and what we could do is talk about it and maybe get a draft prior to setting the hearing, or if you want to have the hearing and then go back to the drawing board and listen to all the comments, and then it'd be a month out after the hearing to incorporate the changes and adopt the law, because it has to be in final form 7 days prior to adoption.
So you could do that. We could hear everybody out today and draft up the language, and we could have a special meeting for the legislature to make all the changes in the law. And
Or amended on the floor.
Before it.
Or amended on the floor, yeah.
So this could still stay on track for the
Yeah,
top schedule.
if you put on the floor.
But it'd be important to get all these issues out now.
I have one more thing.
Go ahead.
Okay. Toward the end of section 6 on the next page, right before 7, it speaks about, it's not a violate, like on point E. It shall not be a violation of this local law for an animal abuse offender to own an animal specially trained and served as a service animal or reside, and it goes on. I guess my question, I just wonder, could that abuser abuse a service animal? Or I guess you can't get into, it would be 2 different laws or something because a service animal is protected in a certain way. Or I'm confused by this.
Well, certainly there is that possibility they could abuse a service animal. The thought process was someone could be on the registry for 10 years or need a service animal at some point in their life, or their family member may need a service animal for whatever reason. And not say that alone is a violation. It was to create accommodation if it's necessary. And of course, service animals are defined differently under
Right. No,
federal
I
law and
understand
state
that.
law. So that was the thought process.
Question for DA and our attorney. If somebody, we have a lot of tourism here. People come here and they'll bring their own animals from another area. If they abuse an animal in Oswego, are they on the Oswego County Registry? Or are they back where they,
If they are convicted, if they're convicted out of Oswego, they would go on the registry.
okay. Not from where they're from. So,
They may have a separate requirement where they're from. We can only control what happens in this county.
yeah, I'm just saying, it's, they go to other counties to abuse it, but at home, everybody thinks they're great, but just saying. Okay.
Question?
Yep.
Bill, you had mentioned that there's something happening on the state level.
Mhm.
Do you have specific information on that to follow up on? I'd be curious what it is.
Well, this has been attempted a few times. I guess there was an Assembly and a Senate bill last year that didn't go anywhere. Right now, I think it's the same one, has been introduced in the Assembly. There's not a Senate companion bill yet. And the only progress it has made is it's been referred to the Assembly's Close Committee. So like I said, it's going to take a while to get it through the state. You may not, you might get it by the end of this year, or if not, it's going to have to start through the whole process again the following year. And there are several counties that have their own registries like this. There are several counties that are looking at it and want to do it, but have decided to hold off until the state passes something. But they could be waiting years. So we seem to have getting a flavor from everybody. They want to do this,
Oh,
get
yeah.
a local one in, at least for some protection now.
All right, is there any further discussion?
So I have a question.
Well, go ahead.
Rich, on the conviction, is it simply just a conviction? And does the offender have a right to a hearing on anything in regards to, other than making an application to the sentencing court?
Yeah.
I'm just looking for what other burdens upon the district attorney's office are we going to have to present evidence at some hearing if similar like we have to do on the Sex Offender Registration Act?
I believe I included something that the burden was on sentencing court to see whether or not it should be included as part of the registry.
So the triggering effect is a conviction under the AML or the penal
Yeah.
law, correct?
Yeah.
And therefore they must be registered unless the discretion of the court allows them to not have to be registered.
Correct. That's why there's a 90-day effective date on post-adoption, because number one, a registry will have to be created, sheriff's office, and two, this has to be pushed out to the local courts as well. So.
Anybody else have any more questions?
Oh, real quick. Oh, so Rich, you're gonna talk about getting some verbiage here, but if you change it or amend it before the public hearing, that's okay? We don't have to put it out 7 days or whatever?
The thought process would be to incorporate the amendment the committee took action on today, confer with the DA as to other minor changes, and then have that go in the packet. It would need to be amended on the floor to set a hearing on the amended proposed local law in the packet. And then go forward on a hearing on the amended proposed local law. And then once you have a hearing on this, if you are persuaded that further changes are necessary, you can always make changes in light of what you hear at the hearing.
So we're amending it. Let's say that you come up with it. So we're amending it on the floor
To set a hearing.
to set another hearing. So we can't vote on it.
If you voted out of committee, it's as is, as amended today, to go to the floor. Before you vote to set the hearing on the floor, if you amend the proposed bill or proposed local law again, prior to setting the hearing, it's on the local law as amended. The hearing would include any changes that the DA may suggest or other changes that we've heard today.
So it can still stay on the same timeline.
Yeah, it's staying on the
still
same
the same
timeline.
timeline.
You just make the changes before you vote on it.
But say, for example, you have 20 people speak on local law and you're like, well, that's a good idea, or the state passes something. I don't think they'll do it in a month, but the state has a bill that's numbered in red. One of the things I want to include in this is a reverse preemption section, which basically says that we have a registry until the state creates a registry, and when the state creates a registry, that this law evaporates and everybody goes to the state registry, which is a much better mechanism because people move between counties and someone who's trying to look up someone and see if they're on an animal abuse registry can do it statewide as opposed to having to search each county's registry.
So since you want to add that, that's an amendment you guys are on the floor anyway. You might as well do the rest of these changes on the floor before you vote to set the public hearing.
Thank you.
So you put this through as is today, then it gets amended on the floor.
And if somebody finds something else to take care of, we can take care of it. Thank you.
So you're on voting on this as amended.
As amended.
Right, because we did do the one amendment.
So I'll ask, any further discussion?
I just want to thank everybody for your input
Yes.
on this because everybody had a good idea. and It's good that you bring it out now. That was a
Everybody
good
working
idea.
together.
Well done.
Yes.
Everybody working together.
That's what this is, you know, the more information is strong, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we all want this law, we need this law. Okay.
Regrettably,
Okay, so I'll ask one more, everybody, any more questions on this? Okay, so I'm looking for a,
It would,
oh,
haven't we already moved in second?
but we had to amend it now, right? We got to amend from,
Did
No,
we-
we've already passed
We
it.
voted on her amendment, all
Right.
right.
no.
So now it's just a vote on this as amended.
Okay. All right, so as this has been amended, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I apologize, I got to throw a monkey wrench into something. Discovered that your first resolution, PS1, the budget mod had incorrect account numbers on it. So I'd like to ask the committee to first vote to reconsider PS1, then vote to amend it, and I'll give you with the correct account number. So the first thing would be a motion to reconsider PS1.
I move that we reconsider PS1.
Second.
Second. Got a first, got a second. Voting on that amendment,
No, it's a reconsideration.
to reconsideration, I'm
Right.
sorry. And as amended, right?
No, we
No,
haven't.
we haven't
No.
amended, no, just to reconsider it.
Reconsider it. As first and second.
Second.
Just vote on it. Vote on whether to reconsider.
Which we just did, so.
We didn't vote.
We didn't
You gotta
vote.
ask me,
I'm
to-
sorry.
sorry. All in favor?
Yep, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to suggest that we get a motion to amend on the budget mod form itself to the first object number that was listed, that 433890 is incorrect. It should read 426800. And the organization number is simply 1325. The rest of those numbers shouldn't be there. A1325.
I'll move it.
For a second.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Then we have to approve PS1 again as amended.
Okay. So I'm looking for, to pass, appropriate for PS1 to pass as amended, right?
I move that we pass PS1 as amended.
I'll second.
Second. Any discussion further? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay. Bear with me, guys, I'm doing what I'm at best here. Okay. All right. So committee reviews and decisions. We got a request for a vehicle in the probation department for the 2026. They're looking to get a new vehicle, a Dodge Durango, $43,000. The purpose for the vehicle would be field home visits with probation clients to monitor compliance with order and conditions of probation and pretrial release, electric bond transportation trainings and conferences. Looking for appropriate motion.
Motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Discussion.
Yep.
Is this, is there a car that you're using now, or is this you upgrading, or is?
It's an additional vehicle, actually. We, starting a couple years ago, Division of Criminal Justice Services started giving us a chunk of money for pretrial services.
That's right.
And this year, actually, the 25-26 award actually was increased by a lot. Most of that money we used towards salaries for pretrial workers in the office, but there was also additional money available there, and we have to use it for something that qualifies as pretrial. So a vehicle qualifies, and we could use another vehicle.
And will this be used by more than one person, or,
Yep, the whole department
and it stays on site, or
stays.
nobody takes it home with them or
No,
anything
no,
like
it's
that?
not a take home. No.
Okay, and is it, lettered up and stuff like that?
We don't usually put anything on the vehicle as far as just because we're out doing visits and it's good not to have people know who we are coming up, but we do put equipment in it. We have a CAD radio and all that.
So if there's not the county emblem on it, or
Correct.
what county plate, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah.
Register under the county, yeah.
I'm assuming we're getting them from state, but
Yep, yep.
thank you.
I have a question.
And just for committee's information, I believe, if I'm remembering right, is a lot of lines in the budget. This is already in the probation department's budget.
Correct.
So this is largely, for committee, our procedures are that, yeah, it's approved in the budget already, but when we buy vehicles, we bring it to committee just for a final blessing, particularly a few months ago. This does not have to go to F&P though, because this is not a commuting vessel, or commuting vehicle.
I'm just curious how many vehicles you have.
We have, right now, we have 3. One we designate just for special services for our warrant execution, and then we have 2 other vehicles, so this will be 4.
This is kind of a small question, but like, if you, I assume there was more, but if you have 3 of them, do we have a maintenance plan where you just wash these things? Do we run them through a car wash and try to keep them up so they're not rusted away,
Yeah.
look presentable and things of that nature?
We have a budget line for repairs and expenses related to vehicles, so we use that to take, to take them to a car wash or whatever.
Good.
As far as repairs, the highway. the
County
garage
takes care of that,
Yeah, yeah.
They got a
Sheriff's
good crew
Department's
out
great.
there, yeah.
Yep.
And, I'd like to see these cars, taken through the car wash, so they look presentable. It's been a long, hard winter and
I
stuff.
agree.
Keep up on them.
Yep.
Thank you.
Or any further discussion?
I have a question. Do we have to all sign these things?
No,
No.
that's,
Those days
this
are
is the
gone.
form.
We use this.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, the next one we have is a request to set salary for a patrol lieutenant. This is just an informational, this would actually be going through finance and personnel, but it's here for questions if there is any. It's establishing a salary for a patrol lieutenant. Actually, if you don't mind, I'll have,
Yeah, it's replacing a patrol lieutenant who just retired. He had his 20 years in, retired last week. And in order to get the salary for another lieutenant, we had to bring it in at this. We met several times last fall with aligning it to figure out where we needed to be because of the salaries of the union having come up that nobody wanted to take the lieutenant's promotion because it would have been overall at the end of the year less pay for them. So we kind of restructured everything last year, and now the lieutenant is gone, so we're looking to make the promotion and move the sergeant up to lieutenant for our patrol division.
So right now it's vacant?
Yeah, as we speak, it is.
Yeah.
We have somebody acting in the position of lieutenant, a sergeant acting, running our patrol division, but we're hoping that this gets approved next Thursday and he continues in that role, but with proper pay.
anybody else got any more further discussion for that? Okay. Moving on to report.
Got it.
No.
No,
No,
sorry, sorry.
Finance and personnel
Okay.
set salary. This is for
Sorry,
the
Chairman.
committee's
You're fine.
information.
Learning. All right, reporting departments. EMS, Nate.
Nate's not here today.
Nope.
He had a meeting, so, I can cover his, report. I'll just highlight some of the items on it. One of the things is we're looking to establish a CFR, which is a certified first responder course, this year. Generally, that's attended or, we usually get volunteer fire departments to take that course instead of like an EMT course, because they're doing certified first responder work waiting for ambulances to arrive. So it's good for them to have that when they don't need the EMT piece to that. We also are working on, we talked about this last month, but we're working farther and moving forward with the responder wellness team for the county. We're working with our agencies. 911 has had some input. Our fire coordinators had some input on that. So we're moving forward with that. We're also, one thing that we wanted to do is the EMS department within EMO is responsible for the county automated external defibrillators, the AEDs in the county. We have them in every building. I'm not necessarily sure that everyone knows where they are in their buildings that have them and how to operate them, or really just what to look at them. So we thought that we would come out with some training, that we would come to each building and offer a 1-hour session for anyone within the building that wanted to know more about where it is in the building, how to use it, what to look for. So we're looking to start that maybe in the spring. So just to let you aware of that. So other than that, anybody have any questions for Nate that either Tyler or I could answer, or we can bring back to the committee? And
EMO, up again.
some more than that. Very busy at EMO, of course. We help the health department with our recent boil water order. We do some public information for that. That sometimes falls on the weekends, and we're rarely available to provide that information out for them. We are heavily invested in some grant opportunities right now in our office. We recently applied for this, it's called a V like Victor fire grant. We're trying to obtain a mobile unit to better support countywide operations in our fire coordinator's office. So we did just apply for that grant funding. Along with our office, and we worked with the Office for the Aging and Health Department, we applied for an AARP grant to try to help some of our vulnerable populations get some targeted equipment for that. Also, our drone coordinator, we recently hired a new drone coordinator. John McGraw has moved on to a private entity. So we just hired the new individual to take that role. Very well respected in the community from other areas that he's worked in, but also has already received his first grant funding that he got through Walmart. I'll be bringing that next month for approval to receive that grant funding, but he is also working to get some grant funding for search and rescue, which he is a member of as well. So we're looking to try to bring some more grant funding to the search and rescue team as well. We are intending on doing some congressional spending applications as well. Of course, we would love to try to develop our EOC, so we'll be bringing that to some of our public safety members for input on with that piece. We did pilot our Web EOC notification platform last month with Human Resources and the Health Department, and it was a notification platform we put out to them to see if we could come up with our way of notifying the public if we wanted to potentially close early or delay start, in a way to get information out to our staff before they're already in motion to buildings in the morning. So we're going to do some additional testing on that, but we wanted to meet with those members, such as Phil's office, to see how far we're going to move forward with that. On the radiological funding, we're very busy with that. We just started our initial planning meetings. We do have an exercise. It's an off-year exercise this year, which means it's state evaluated on June 9th, Tuesday, June 9th. Linda Lockwood has always, since I've been in the county, has played in that role. I would love if someone would entertain coming down to that exercise. I'm going to play a participation observatory role, so I could walk you through that. But it would be great if members of the Public Safety Committee or our Vice Chair, if anybody would be interested in participating in that.
You have a time for that?
Yeah,
It's all day, but it usually starts around 8 o'clock in the morning and finishes around 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
What type of participation?
So you guys who play the chief elected official, Linda could probably fill you in on that role, but so we make protective action decisions based on the incident that's occurring in the scenario. And as the chief elected official, you sign the news releases that we're putting out for the county. You make the decision. We may give you what we think the decision is, but you are the elected official. You do make the decision for the county. So you have input, you have questions you may ask in regards to those decisions that we're making, whether we're sheltering in place, whether we're evacuating the public and what areas we're evacuating, and the information that goes out in the news releases that we're putting out there. So I don't know if you have anything you want to add on that, Linda.
no,
No.
I enjoy it.
Where do you actually hold that at?
It's in our office,
In your office,
in the
okay.
EOC. You're kind of
There.
in a nice little small area in the basement. There's usually like 8 of us in the room, and there's a room enough for 4, so it's, wear your tank top that day, although then it's kind of like cold when we're down there. We turn the heat down. But it would be good. It would be a good opportunity because it is healthier to have someone come down and just observe it. We can walk you through it. My intention this year is this will be my 8th exercise, but my intention this year is to give Tyler the realm and run the command room, and I'm going to be there to help guide that piece. But it is state evaluated, so we consider it a practice exercise. So I would be able to also help the legislative body that shows up at the exercise to learn more about what your responsibilities and what your roles look like. So and we also have a new EOC manager, which Jane Laws plays that, and I'm bringing in Kevin to play that role too. So definitely heavily participated by the county. We wouldn't be able to support it if we didn't have that county participation. So that's one thing we can guarantee is having an exercise at least annually, if not 2 a year. So next year is a very large exercise, hostile action-based exercise. So there'll be a heavy sheriff's department participation in that. It's an exercise that I've only participated from the plant side, so even for me, this is going to be new next year, and that's an evaluated exercise that we have to do once every 8 years. So next year is a larger exercise that will involve extra training and extra exercises. So questions?
So what is this?
This is our state evaluated off-year exercise.
Not the one that's coming up.
June 9th.
What?
Oh, June 9th, sorry.
When you say all day, like the 4th, I'm sorry, till 4:30ish.
It wouldn't be that long.
8 to 2.
8 to 2, yeah.
Shortly after lunch is over.
Yeah, usually the general emergency is declared at noon at lunchtime, and by the time we get, our protective action decisions out and sign all that stuff off, and we follow through with the Joint Information Center, which is where we're disseminating that information to the public, it's usually by 2 o'clock at the latest.
Okay.
So,
Is it maximum number of people? Because you said something about it's limited space.
in my room, yes.
But if a number of us
Wanted to observe, yes, we can definitely,
you can accommodate how
Yes.
many of.
yes, because there's additional activities happening in other areas of our floor, so you could kind of watch some of those actions. So, yeah, I do just need to know, as it gets closer to the exercise, I'll reach out and see if anyone has any interest, in coming to observe, and, we can go from there. So,
I have another question. You speak about observing and then participating.
Yes.
And have you been an observer or have you been one who had to make decisions and actually participate in the? I do it all.
Yeah, so we do need one person to act as the chair of the legislature or the chief elected official to make the decisions for the county. So there's one person playing in that role, but there's other individuals that can come and witness or observe those things that are happening.
If it's something that I wouldn't understand, I'd ask if Phil was there or Kathy.
Right, because I wouldn't, there would be a wealth of, a large learning curve for me
Learning curve,
to know
Yeah,
if I were to make
absolutely.
decisions,
No,
and that's
in
why I
your
was
case,
just
I would
curious.
say that come observe,
Yeah.
so you could see how the exercise goes, see what, what we're doing in the county, with respect to that, with actions that we're trying to take to protect the health and safety of the public. Do you have anything to add on that, Phil?
No, just ideally, the person playing in the chairman's role should be the chair or the vice chair at least once in one of these practices. So in case it's ever real, it's not entirely foreign with if you have to go do it.
Yes. And I think Jim has played before. but
Jim's
it's been
done
quite
it.
some time since he's played.
Yes, yes. I know, I keep hearing yes.
I mean, we've had, our prior legislator, Mark Reckel, has come down and played, and at least participated in that, position, and during an off-year exercise, so, it's always, in an off-year, it's a better opportunity to learn and observe, and we would never make you make decisions that you weren't comfortable with, and we explain them to you, but,
It's the every other year FEMA exercise that's evaluated that we really got to do everything right and can't have a lot of people around because that can affect the operator's licenses if we fail.
yes. And it's one thing that, you know, in consideration for the potential for new nuclear, one thing that, looking at our program here, I wonder how other counties are gonna be able to support that, because it takes a vast support system to put into a radiological program, from the planning purposes to all the people that support it and implement it. I mean, you've gotta have a lot of county buy-in and all those, departments within your county and stakeholders that support it. I mean, by far, you know, the health department is probably one of our largest groups that support whole operations during these, but everyone else has an important part too. We have an evaluated exercise this year by FEMA for our personal monitoring center, which is vastly staffed by the health department. That's one that's happening in September. There is a sheriff's component to that for security for the facilities, but we have requirements that we have to meet with all the evaluations.
Is that also with members of the health, I mean, the committee, the health department committee?
Not
Observe
the
that or
committee.
not?
No, this is just the staff members. They're basically the staff that supports the facility operations. I'll stop with that.
Now go. All right, E911, Kevin.
So my report submitted with all of our activity. Continuing to notice the trend of wireline 911 calls going down. I think this is the first time we've been under 1,000 calls in a month. But wireless calls are still off the right off the top of the wall. So one thing I did miss in here with John McGraw leaving, I was missing the drone report. So we did have 28 total 911 flights in the month of January, with 4 of those being training. Those were with the 2 pilots that we had in place at that point in time. Going down into management activities, I did get reappointed as the chair of the Central New York Interoperable Communications Consortium Technical Subcommittee. So I've chaired that committee now for 8 years. Continue with that. Community Safety Initiative, continue to work on the mapping project, which at this point is pretty much just rolling it out to the end users. We still have a couple school districts that we've not received authorization to share it with the end users yet. So all of the school districts have access to them. 911 has access to them. We're in a process where those maps will be integrated into our CAD maps when we do an update later this week. That'll be included in that as well. It's getting the hard copies or access to be able to make hard copies to the fire departments and EMS more so. Law enforcement automatically gets access to all of that stuff. And we're just working through that side of the project. The AWARE project is the integration of all of the different types of technologies that we have in the 911 center. So GPS location, as far as for the location of law enforcement vehicles, ambulances, things along those lines. That is all set up and working. What we've been held up on and are continuing to work on is the integration of the county camera system. It required us to do an upgrade that we recently worked with IT that has been completed at this point in time. Now we're working on some licensing agreements between the vendor and Motorola Solutions and the county. So working our way down through those so we can get those turned on. Also have started paying out, having some discussions with some of the schools to start looking at some of the camera options on that. But I really wanted to get our stuff working so I could show them what we can do and what options we have in there. So, and also for myself, have a better idea of the management side of Technical dispatch communication support, we did do training for a basic essentials of firefighting course, so pretty much the basic firefighter training for the county, which is really good. To work, to partner with the fire school with that. Continue building out virtual radio training options for fire and EMS service. We are in the process of issuing some interoperability radios for the eastern side of the county, with Oneida County going to a different frequency band that caused some interoperability issues for us. We purchased those radios, and we are got the training finished up, so those will be getting out here shortly for, I think it's largely going to be Cleveland Fire Department, West Amboy, and Williamstown Fire Departments. So, also with some more support for search and rescue built into that as well. So, advanced telecommunicator, we have we built a training program, put all 4 of the advanced telecommunicators and their supervisors through it in the past month, which has cleaned up a lot of the loose ends and stuff that we had with that particular position. And then also extremely exciting, our 2 new pilots, or 2 new advanced telecommunicators, I should say, also passed their Part 47 licenses this past month. So they will be getting their training, their hands-on training, and then training officer training over the next month or so. So we'll have a drone pilot on all 4 of the shifts, which is extremely exciting. We're also in the process on that particular side of things of deploying 3 additional drone docks to the 5 that we currently have in place, so we will be up to 8. And then there will be 2 more that are getting deployed after the weather breaks, so we can work with B&G to put some docks on top of the buildings out in Pulaski. There will be 1 planned at the County Highway facility on 2A and 1 planned at the DMV downtown Pulaski. Build out from there. We'll see where we're at after we get this stuff up and working, and get everything moving with the other 2 pilots. But that, I think I mentioned 28 flights or something. I mean, I think in the past month we've doubled that. So, and that with the addition of the ones we previously put out. So as we continue those drone dock build out, those will definitely increase. So. Next Generation 911, nothing necessarily new there, just continuing to work with the work group. They are preparing to put out a request for proposal from vendors, which will probably go out within the next few weeks here. Have been through the New York State 911 coordinators working group section, assisting with feedback and stuff on that, which gives us a good glimpse behind the curtain of what they're thinking and what they want to do. So that's helpful. It's also helping us guide our renovation project and build out of our phone upgrade as we move forward with that. New York State 911 coordinators, we do have a symposium that's coming up in April. So we've been preparing that, working with the Office of Interoperable and Emergency Communications, preparing for the symposium and all the aspects and everything that come with that to prepare for a conference. So. And then New York State 911 staff mental health. We've recently added 4 new certified peer supporters. It started off as 1 per shift, and then unfortunately with the promotions and stuff that have recently happened, now we have 2 shifts that have 2, and we have 2 shifts that don't have any. So we will continue that process of building out. But the awesome thing is that now gives us 6 certified peer supporters within the department to be able to start working on our own, and supporting our people. There is a lot more that's coming along with that. Obviously, Kathy had mentioned the wellness program for the first responders. We plan on, as we're building out our portion at 911, supporting that program, with software applications and stuff that we plan on putting in place, and using our people that go on both sides of the fence. We have volunteer firefighters or people that work in EMS that are getting the training and working on stuff within our program. We're also supporting them going back to their fire departments and EMS corps to help work on and push in those programs so they can utilize that training on both sides of the fence. So I think that's pretty much everything I have.
Any questions? Number 2, District Attorney.
Thank you. Very good result on a homicide trial towards the middle of February. I think it was February 13th that the actual verdict came in. We're very happy for the result of the jury guilty verdict. for the deceased victim, her family, as well as for the citizens of the county of Oswego. I just want to go out and thank that was a huge collaboration between law enforcement as well as prosecutors. It was quite a collaboration for over a year and a half, almost 2 years at this point, between the Oswego City Police Department and, of course, my office, Oswego County Sheriff's Department, New York State Police, their forensic investigation unit, the Onondaga County Medical Examiner's Office. We also hired an expert in blood spatter analysis, which helped immensely in our prosecution. So for that, I thank the county legislator for allowing me some latitude in our budget for those purposes to do what's right. And of course, I'd like to thank my prosecutors, some top prosecutors that prosecuted the case. But I gotta tell you, it was a whole office effort. Everybody had a hand in it for research, for assistance during the trial. So I want to give a good kind of hand clap to my prosecutors in this matter. It's not done. Sentencing isn't completed until April of this year. But just want to tell you what collaboration between law enforcement and prosecution could ends up in a very good result. And I just, sometimes you don't hear that all the time, so I want to make sure that we get the hoorays for that assistance and that collaboration. And I want to thank them for helping us in prosecuting this matter. That being said, updates of what we've done. I sat in as a guest speaker at a local city BOCES public safety classroom. Spent about 2.5 hours there on last Monday, the 23rd. The first morning class actually got canceled because of the 2 hour delay. Welcome to Oswego. The first time I actually scheduled it, it actually got totally canceled on February 19th in a huge snowstorm. So I'm planning on going to meet with the morning class as well. I enjoyed it immensely. Some great questions, and should be very proud of those students at the public safety sector. Thanks Charlie Sear for inviting me. I look forward to the morning class. That would happen to be the afternoon class that I met with. We actually are hosting an expert that normally talks to law enforcement. This class is occurring on 312 upstairs in my office. He's actually for Scott Freeman, who usually presents to law enforcement on probable cause. I thought it was a good idea to have Scott come up and talk to our prosecutors. Again, on the collaboration. In fact, I like to know what's being taught to the law enforcement officers so that we as prosecutors can understand what a law officer, what a sheriff's deputy, for instance, is thinking out on the field. I think it's going to be immensely important for our prosecutors to understand what law enforcement is being taught, so that we understand that and we can collaborate as prosecutors to understand where a law enforcement officer is coming from when they come and testify in probable cause hearings. So that's March 12th. That's actually going to be held upstairs in my. We do actually have some law inviting some law enforcement officers as well. Of course, if any legislator wants to come and you are interested, I'm always inviting you. I have an open invitation to come up to my office and see what we do. I think it's important for you to understand what the district attorney's office actually does in the county of Oswego.
So what was the date on that?
That's March 12th. Thursday in the morning. If that changes, because time to time that will change, I will let the appropriate people know. Just in case. Okay. In addition to that, we beginning of the third week of March, 16th and 17th, I believe. I have already done this for the Oswego City Police Department. We go and we present updates, and for us to keep in touch with our law enforcement, we're doing that for the Fulton City Police Department this time. And we also, we go and we set it up with the Oswego County Sheriff's Department as well. So that's our continuing obligation to meet with our law enforcement to talk about updates and always have questions. Meeting with law enforcement is always a good idea and actually enjoy it immensely, just like I like meeting with students. Students are going to be future law enforcement officers, so I think that's a big deal to continue our relationship with law enforcement. So that's happening 3/16 and 3/17. I'll be going to, with some of our ADAs to, I believe it's community college. Where's that, John? You guys are allowing us to use your.
Down at the academy?
Yes.
I'm assuming.
That's the academy, that's what we're doing, Fulton PD. So other officers are always invited to come too. Lastly, we are also arranging to host another event that includes, it happens to be very prevalent lately, is fraud. So we're arranging with the Attorney General's office. This is a to be determined. We're looking like in April-ish this year, as well as workers' compensation have their own attorneys as well. So we're going to be hosting a class and let them or hosting a class for them to instruct us about the ongoing issues of the new ways of fraud occurring in the county of Oswego, state of New York. So I always believe in education is a big deal. Education and information. So it's just something we continue as we go along. We think of things that are prevalent and we try to get instruction and training on that. So that's as good an update as I can give you.
Mr. DiMartino, I want to back up to the first thing that you were talking about. And I don't know how people really know the extent of it. The hours and many hours that you worked in that murder that happened in the city of Oswego on the west side. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing a good job and getting a conviction and keeping a horrific crime off the streets. It was a terrible, terrible, terrible murder. And I want to thank you so much for all your hard work, all the, like you said, from your office to the sheriffs, to the state police, to the city of Oswego, making our streets safer. Matter of fact, we have another one that's going to be coming up, another murder that's in the city of Oswego that you're working at. And I just want to say,
That'll probably be next year, but.
Yep. And that happened in my district. My mother lives right across the street from that house. So, and the other one was in on the west side of town and towards the downtown area. And so it was a terrible crime. And I applaud you for your conviction. And it's a big deal for us. And it's a big. I want to just really thank you, and tell everybody. And I've matter of fact, folks, the day the conviction went down, I happened to be at our local Canales restaurant having lunch, and those folks were down there, and I got to go over to the table with this whole crew, and I thanked every single one of them there, and I want to thank you again. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your kind comments.
Yes.
That's our responsibility.
Oh, no. Yes, but it's just, I want it to go,
And if I could, our prosecutors were my chief assistant, Luminera, and my senior assistant, Matt Bell, put a lot of hours, man hours, and it was something that was not only our obligation or duty, but it was something that obviously we had a personal interest in as well.
Absolutely.
Because of, as you depicted, the scene itself. So,
Yes. Thank you again.
so I appreciate it.
Sheriff's Department.
We mentioned already the lieutenant, our patrol lieutenant, has been running our patrol division for the last 6 or 7 years almost, retired last Friday. So we have a replacement coming in for that. We have a Corrections Academy currently going. We have 4 former state corrections officers that came over to us last year and going through that academy, because once we hire them, they have a year to go through the academy and be certified. So in the current academy, we have 4 former state, 1 former Onondaga corrections officer, and then 3 people from Jefferson County, 3 corrections officers going through that academy. As soon as that wraps up, we're starting another one with people that don't have prior corrections experience, be a little longer class. We have, I believe, 7 starting on the 16th for that corrections academy. And when we go to the road, we have a new hire today who transferred from OCC, he's a peace officer at OCC, but he had gone through police training, so he is going to go through our field training program, 16 weeks on the road with another officer, and hopefully we'll be able to put him right on the street on his own as opposed to going through an academy, because as I said, he's already got the academy. And then on the 16th, we have 4 new police recruits starting for our academy. And hopefully that will keep most of our vacancy numbers up. While I'm talking about the academy, Sergeant from the academy gave us an update about a month ago. It is our 7th academy since we started doing our own academies as opposed to sending them somewhere else. We put out that we're doing this one at the end of March, and we already have 21 recruits signed up from 10 different agencies. So we've got a really good response down since we moved to Cayuga Community College there in Fulton. We were able, with budget money at the end of last year, to buy 35 Chromebooks. So as opposed to the recruits carrying the big old binders that we used to carry and photocopying probably thousands of pages to put in that binder, everything is going to be a little bit more modern. We'll have Chromebooks. They'll be issued a Chromebook. They'll be able to keep all their notes, all their binders, and everything on that. So I think they're doing real good and making a lot of progress down there. And unfortunately, because they start in March, they won't be done with that academy until October. Then when they're done in October, they have 16 weeks of field training. So it's about a year from now before they're on their own. So they basically fill those vacant deputy spots. From the hiring process till the end, it's like a 1.5 year process. And I think that's all I got.
Thank you. Probation Department, Dave.
Thanks. Just a couple things. We've got DCGS coming from Albany to do a training on admission interlock devices pertaining to that resolution that you passed earlier. We've got Fulton City Police, Circle City Police, Sheriff's Department, and then my officers that have the training. So that'll be good. We recently, the Dean's office, sorry. Sorry. We recently lost a probation officer, so we decided we're going to hold off on hiring actually until we get the exams in June. So we're going to kind of reconfigure workload. So we'll hopefully be able to make do okay until we have a new list. We're still working on setting up and testing our body-worn cameras. As far as Stop DUI, the next high visibility engagement campaign will be St. Patrick's Day, and we started having conversations with some of the local schools for our mock DUI crashes. Questions?
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody here from the fire coordinator? I don't see Shane.
They had a fire this morning. Probably it fast. Every day.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Yeah,
did say the other day, he said, there's like 60 days into the year and they had 60 activations. So it's been very busy.
Yeah.
So, at least one a day. I mean, there's probably more, but I mean, just on average, one a day. So the South has been very busy.
No, that's okay.
All right, search and rescue.
And we've had 3 calls since the beginning of the year. 1 notification, 2 activations, and the demographics were 1 for dementia and 2 hikers. We've started our academy this year with Oswego and Onondaga Wilderness SAR team. We have actually 22 that are enrolled in right now, and the first class was on the 25th of February. This course will go over a 4-month period, and I believe the total training hours will be 88. And the last thing, we have an upcoming Project Lifesaver presentation that's scheduled, I believe, for the 19th of March for the Fulton Lions Club. And I'd like to say we appreciate and thank all the support from the county agencies for us.
Thank you. Yep.
This is a point of information because I'm new. I was looking at the statistics of the number of subjects for 25, and there's 20 children listed.
Yes,
Was that individual or group? I mean, that's a lot
that's
of,
individually.
that's a lot of kids.
Mhm.
And the other question I had was, I'm not sure what it means, good intent. What does that mean? It's listed there, you have one person, one call on that, and I don't know what that means.
I would, well,
It's typically where somebody thinks that somebody's lost.
yes.
And then
Oh,
they find out
okay.
that they actually weren't.
Best of intentions.
Yeah,
Okay,
they had a good intent to try and get help, but they didn't need it.
Yeah.
Typically what that
Gotcha.
stands for.
Or like finding children in the home that
Yeah.
thought were lost, yeah.
okay,
Those kind of
thank
things.
you.
I guess that happens.
Good question.
That
That's
happens.
the good side of it. That's the good side of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Okay, so
I
that's
don't know, but I
not-
guess I haven't done my work with service.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Keep the dryer under a bed.
Yeah.
And I'm working up to get the research, before the little research again.
Any further questions for? Looking for the proper motion?
I'll second it.
Second.
Do we have to vote on
All in
that?
favor?
Oh, all in favor?
You'll get it.
Aye. Opposed? Opposed?
I'm interested in talking.